Hey guys, so it occurred to me that I didn't really give you a rundown of what kind of brought me to start this YouTube channel, things that occurred in my life that kind of got me to the point where I'm at right now. And I figure since you're kind of going along with my journey with me, that maybe you would want to know a little bit about where it came from or what led me to all this. So I'm not going to go all the way back because that would take forever. Just kidding. But I will go back a little bit and some of the key things that kind of changed my life and kind of brought me to where I'm at today. So I used to live in Florida for a long time. I moved from Florida to Colorado, and kind of in Colorado is where everything kind of shifted for me. I met a lot of amazing people, and certain things happened there that kind of changed my life. I met a bunch of amazing people. So I decided to move to Colorado. I did start a new career there. Everything was great. I loved all the people around me. Was looking into buying a home, and as you know, it's pretty expensive out there. So being a single mom, it wasn't necessarily something that was feasible for me at the time. I just couldn't afford to get enough funding. But that's okay. I had in my mind that I was going to get a home. I was going to close on a home, and it was just going to happen for me. And I just knew that. I even set a date that I would be moving in by June 1st it was a couple years ago, so 3 years ago, of 21. And so I had that in my mind. I had it on a calendar, actually. And I would always tell my daughter, we're moving in on this date. Remember, everything has to be packed. We're moving in on this date. We ended up moving out of state to Nebraska, where I grew up in Nebraska. So I kind of thought maybe we can make a trip back there and see if there's something that would suit our needs there. And actually we did, and it was perfect. And we actually moved in the end of May, so right before June 1st. So I think it was the 21st or 22nd, but pretty close to that June 1st. So when that happened, that really got my gears a running, right? Because I was like, that was pretty close, a little bit too close for a coincidence there. So really started diving deep into different things and trying to figure out really who I am, what my place is here, what I'm supposed to be doing. And as a lot of people did, I got pretty sick a couple of years ago. So can't really discuss what it is. Also, disclaimer, I'm not a medical provider. I'm not a physician of any kind. I'm just relating my experiences to you guys, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But I took my daughter to a concert, and next day we woke up deathly ill. It was awful. And I'm not one to want to go to hospitals, so I just was kind of trucking through it for 3-4 days, to the point where I just couldn't breathe anymore, and ended up going to the hospital. My lungs had collapsed. Pretty bad state. So in the hospital, they're pumping me full of all kinds of drugs and medicines, trying to save my life, essentially. And unfortunately, my daughter spent her 16th birthday in the hospital right next to me. She wouldn't leave my side, so she's definitely, she's my rock. She's my right hand. But the doctor came in, and he did tell me that they were going to have to put me on a ventilator. And I was not okay with that. That's not something that I was going to do. And I told him, I said, thank you for, your knowledge, and thank you for, giving me this next step, but I'm going to decline that. I'm going to leave it in God's hands. Let go and let God, right? So I told him that if I wake up tomorrow and I'm doing better and responding to, the medicine, then God wants me to be here. If not, he will take me when it's his time. So that night we kind of prayed pretty hard, and I just told God, I said, I'm leaving this in your hands. If you feel that my time here is done and I don't need to be here any longer, then I'm ready to go. It is your will, and I will respect that. Whatever you decide that is best for me, then absolutely I'm fine with that. I also did say that if you did give me a second chance at life, I would completely change my life around, and I would speak about you daily and let everybody know the presence that you have held in my life, and the wonders that you have done, and the miracles that you have made possible for me and my family. And so the next day, I don't want to get all teary, but yeah, the next day, doctor came in and was checking everything. 25% better lung capacity. I was holding more oxygen. And within 3 days, my lungs were completely, they were like, I just don't understand it. And I was like, you don't need to. God works in mysterious ways, right? So, definitely came through for me on that. And it was such a blessing. And, when I was leaving the hospital, they told me that, I was now diabetic, that I was on a lot of steroids, and that I had gotten diabetes. My blood sugars were so high, and I was like, diabetes? We have no diabetes in the family, none of this. So it was kind of a shock to me. And it was also like my vision was very bad because my sugar levels were so high, 500 plus, they said, daily, and they were trying to control it with insulin. But at the same time, they had to keep me on the steroids because it was combating, the virus. So we went through this whole process. I left the hospital, and I couldn't even see. I could see shadows, outlines, but it was just all dark, and I could kind of see shadows and outlines, but very scary. So I went in for one thing, came out with something different, but that's okay. I got a second chance, and I figured, if I have to deal with not being able to see anymore, that's just something I'm going to have to get through, but I went to an eye doctor, and she checked me over. She said she thought that my sight would come back completely. And it was actually funny that her dad had the same issue. He went in for the same virus, and left with the diabetes and the eyesight issues, which I thought was just insanely crazy. And now, after, years have gone by, I've seen a lot of other things pop up where people have the same situations of that. So I just thought it was pretty weird. But like I told God, I promised him that I was going to change my life. Everything was going to be different. So went on a super, super spiritual journey. I fired 3 doctors and a nutritionist because, kind of sad, but I'll just give you a run through. I had 2 doctors tell me that I needed to stop thinking that the diabetes is something that I was going to get rid of. I needed to come to terms and stop being in denial that I would ever not have that issue. So those 3 doctors got fired. And then I had a nutritionist that actually told me that she wanted me to stop talking like I was going to change my life, like it was going to be different. I was going to forever have this disease, and there was no getting over it, and that I needed to just accept the terms of it and deal with the fact that I would have it forever. Currently trying to find her number right now. But yes, she was fired. And we'll come back to why I'm trying to find her number right now. But so went through like just the rabbit hole of what am I going to do? Because I was not going to have this forever. God gave me a second chance. And he knew that I was going to push through, and I was going to figure it out. And he was going to make me do all the footwork so that in the end, I would enjoy it. Right? So, long story short, YouTube is amazing, and I love it, and it gives you so much information. I found Dr. Jason Jung, or I'm not really sure, but he is a doctor out of Canada. He works with a lot of people with diabetes, things of that nature. Started doing some of the diet plans that he had. Started doing intermittent fasting. Started lifting heavy weights, and went from 385 pounds, and right now I'm sitting at about 230. So it was a lot, but it was great, and it has changed everything. When I left the hospital, my A1C, which that's, it kind of shows how much sugar is in your blood for those of you who don't know. So 18 and a half was what I had at the hospital, which is crazy. Liquid sugar, basically. And then when I went to the doctor just about a month ago, my A1C was at a 5.1. Diabetes, the chart starts around 5.7 is pre-diabetic or diabetes. And then the further up you go, you're diabetic. But I was at a 5.1, so I am no longer diabetic. And that was super amazing. And why I'm currently trying to find that nutritionist a number right now so I could call her, because I told her, I will beat this and I will show you that you're wrong. And she says, you never will, but that's okay if that helps you sleep at night. And I cried really bad when she said that to me, and people are awful. But currently looking for her number so I can call her and be like, hey, you know, the thing you told me I couldn't do, I did it. With some help, of course, from the man above, but I did it. Absolutely. So yeah, things like that. It really just, you just got to keep pushing through. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't do something, that you can't be something, or that you are always going to be this. Or the mind, if you put your mind to something, it's amazing what you can do. Like mind and body. When you put your mind to something and then you follow up with your body doing the motions, step, 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 nothing can stop you. Believe me, absolutely nothing. And if I can do something like this, anybody can do it, because I was just set in my ways and I was not going to change for anything, but I really needed, you know, they say there's all these bad things that happen in the world. And for me in my life, the worst thing that happened to me was the best thing that ever could have happened to me, because it opened my eyes. It changed my perspective. I was able to get closer to God. I was able to revisit everything that I had been missing in my life that I didn't realize I was missing, but I needed that spiritual part in my life. And honestly, you know, things just happen. And it's really the way that you decide to get through those things. If you're either going to have a negative attitude through everything, and you're going to listen to the outside world that's telling you that you can't accept this, you're going to be this forever. Don't accept it. Like, don't accept it. If it's not the life that you want for yourself, do something about it. Change it. I promise you that you can do anything that you set your mind to. You just have to know, like, you know, that you're going to be a certain thing, you're going to have a certain success in a business, or, you know, whatever the case may be. For me, it was my health. I knew I was going to be to a certain different level. That was not going to be me for the rest of my life. And I knew, I made a vow, I made a promise to God I was going to change my life. And I did. And he was with me every step of the way. So an amazing thing there. So now, I am just currently on my spiritual journey, just trying to reach out to others. And honestly, I come on here and put up videos because I've been through a lot of things. And if there's anything that I can say that maybe a little nugget of information helps you guys out, then I feel like I've done my job. I feel like I'm upholding my promise to the man above. And, I feel like, you know, some people can take something from it, you know, even if it doesn't meet everybody, somebody will grab something from it. So, just wanted to come on here and give you a little bit of info on that. And yes, every day is still a struggle. Do I want to go out and buy donuts all the time? Absolutely. But you know, and come on guys, you got to take your wins here and there. Like if you want to have a little cheat day here and there, absolutely do that for yourself. But yeah, you have to change. Your mindset is the thing that starts it and that gets the ball rolling. So basically, don't let anybody tell you that you are something that you don't want to be, or that you're going to be this for the rest of your life, or that you can't do something, or you need to follow in a certain pattern with, you know, societal constructs. Like, no, this is ridiculous. You can do anything you put your mind to, and just have that strong faith, and don't ever waver. Your faith is the key. In the Bible, it talks of a woman who knew that if she could just touch Jesus's clothes, that she would be healed from, all her conditions. And she did. She touched his clothes, and she was instantly healed. And he stops and he says, who touched me? Who touched me? And she's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to, tarnish you or anything. I just knew if I touched your clothing that I could be healed. And he tells her that your faith was what healed you. So pretty strong stuff, guys. Your faith is everything. So make sure that you're never doubting yourself and always love you. Love you, because the outside world is crazy. The world that we live in is absolutely insane, and people are so mean. So love you, and who cares what anybody else says, honestly. Like, we're all here for a reason. We're all on different levels of learning and knowledge and spirituality, and that's okay. Wherever somebody's at, that's okay. But just be kind to you. Be kind to the ones that you love. And just remember, every day is not promised. But as long as every day we're moving towards, our goals and changing certain things, and maybe our mindset's a little bit, maybe instead of all the negative thoughts, we start throwing some positive ones in there, and throwing out the word can't. That's a big one. You can do this. You can do that. Stop doubting yourself, guys. You guys are all beautiful, amazing human beings. And I think that the world, the sky's the limit for you. Whatever you can dream, you can achieve. And along the way, I will tell you that there is going to be a lot of emotions that pop up and things of that nature. But the only way to heal from, stored emotions that are in our body is to feel them. So when they come up, feel them, identify with them, register that that's what you're feeling, and then let it go. You got to let the past go, because it holds you back 100%. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. I'm sorry that this is so long. Just wanted to give you a little bit of background on me and what I'm going through, or what I went through, so that now on this journey, you're kind of caught up. And I'll just kind of touch base with you guys here and there, and hopefully you guys learn something or pick something up that might be useful for you. I love you all very, very much, and you're all amazing. I hope you have a great day.